Don't you ever just sit down and just find that everything in your life is stuck? That you can't find a way back home, or you can't find the answer to something that you're questioning about, or just as simple as something that you couldn't solve even though there's a solution. Like, why are you feeling like you don't know where to start? So for me, I believe that there's always an answer for everything. It doesn't matter what you're going through or what you're feeling right now. Sooner or later, things will go as it is, and it goes for everything in life, honestly. You can check it out. The rain, it doesn't rain every day, nor does it get hot every day too. And so whatever happens in life is either that it has to happen, or you're making it happen on your own. And it really corresponds to what I have for you today, is that in order for something to begin, there has to have something that ends. And in order for something to end, something has to begin. And so it's basically a paradox that goes around, comes around. Right? It doesn't matter what you want to do. You have to complete something first and then go on to complete another. Just take a look at it this way, like you're reading a book. So to get from chapter 1 to chapter 2 to chapter 3 to chapter 4, to go all that, you have to start from chapter 1. And same thing goes for life. If you want to be successful, you have to start from the bottom, or even worse, you have to start from negative. And so you have to go through all of that pressure, all of that necessity in order to come out of your shell or come out of your cocoon and become a butterfly. It's literally straightforward as it is. And a lot of people don't see this because they're very focused on the result, and they never ever dare sit down and admire the process. And I think this is pretty dangerous, because if you just keep on looking at the result and not looking back at the process and not enjoying the process, and not celebrating the process, you're gonna end up becoming something you don't like. You're gonna end up receiving something you don't want to receive. And when you do all that, the result that you'll receive, you'll either not like it, or you'll feel like you're not getting it. It's like, let's say you're working hard for something, and then you just work hard. You never sit back and talk to yourself like, you know, I've come a long way, and I enjoy what I do every day. It feels like fun, right? It feels like fun, but at the same time, you're doing it every day. And so when the result comes, it feels like you're receiving it, rather than when the result comes and you just feel like it's another achievement on a wall or another photo on a wall. You don't want to do that, because if you do that, you're creating a chain of toxicity to yourself mostly, and it really sums up towards changing your behaviors and attitudes, and all of those is going to affect the people around you as well. There might be relationships being broken down, there might be friendships being destroyed. So you don't want to do all that, right? The main goal in life is to make the most of everything, honestly, whatever that may be, whether it is in life, or in a career, or in love, or in any sort of other goals that you intend to achieve. It doesn't matter. You have to make the most of everything. And it comes down to understanding that for you to start receiving something, you have to give first. And so it's a paradox. In order to receive something, you have to give back, right? It's like in order to receive respect, you have to give respect, right? You don't just sit around and expect someone to hand over your respect without you giving them respect back. And so it's a process of it's an interlinked chain of actions that when you do something, you receive it back. And even if you don't receive it now, you'll receive it later, right? So and that really connects what I have for you today: end to begin and begin to end. And so if you want to start with something, right? Let's say you want to start reading a book, right? You want to start finishing a book, you got to first read the book. And to get what's inside of the book, you got to first go over the book itself. You got to read through all the pages. Sometimes you got to summarize it on your own. You got to reread it again because, well, you won't finish a book in a day. Well, I'm not saying it's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but most of us don't have the time to just sit down and read a book for a whole day. But let's say that you do have the time, you still have to reread it again. And so part of it comes from acknowledging the fact that having the energy and the commitment to start is very important. Because if you don't have that, you'll never finish. The goals that you intend to achieve, the destination that you plan to arrive, it's never going to happen unless you have the commitment and dedication. And without consistency, you'll never finish. You'll never finish and you'll never start. And so it's a process of doing it every day. Let's say you want to hit the gym, you want to get six-pack, you want to get wide shoulders. All of those wants and needs comes from you showing up to the gym and doing the 2 hours workout every single day. And if you don't do that, you'll never see the end goal. And reflecting back again, right? Reflecting back again, you'll see that for you to have a good physique, you have to go over and sacrifice the time to hit the gym, sacrifice the effort, the energy that you consume every single day, put it all into working out to receive the body that you want. And so it doesn't really matter what you wish to achieve, as long as you have that sort of energy or consistency to start, then that's it. It doesn't take you as much as anything, honestly. We have to understand that although we come from the same background, right? I'm not talking about the type of background where those type of external backgrounds, like the parents being this or that, or you having a rough childhood or something like that. No, I'm talking about you coming out of your mom's womb, you having 24 hours a day, you eating 3 meals a day, or 2 or 1, you having the bed to sleep. So all of this comes from you receiving it, right? And you have to acknowledge that you have to make the most of the things that you receive in order to work on receiving another thing, right? And so all of this is an aid, a sort of aid towards you finishing your goal, right? So let's say let's say you have the need or you have the wants to become an Olympic athlete, right? And so you work hard every day, you wake up from your bed, you wake up early, you hit the gym, you exercise, you work out, you practice, you do all that every single day. And what if you don't have the right people, you don't know the right people, you don't put yourself in the right crowd, you end up not becoming an Olympic athlete. You become something else, right? And so it accounts to both the internal factor and the external factor. And so those two factors have to interlink together. It has to walk on the same path. And if you have one without the other, sure it'll work. Sure it'll work, but you won't get the result you want, and you won't end up liking it either. So you'll feel like, oh, you know what, I got it, I did it, but just doesn't feel like I got it, right? So it's dangerous, because it's gonna affect you mentally, and it's gonna drain all of your energy, right? Just for something that you're supposed to feel something out of it, and instead it drains all your mental capacity and physical capacity, and now you're just feeling like a piece of shit. And now you gotta waste time to go and talk to therapy or something like that. You don't want that, right? You don't want that. And another thing that people always overlooked is change. You see, change doesn't mean that it's always bad. Like, some change isn't bad, and just because it's taking you out of your comfort zone, right, out of your safe bubble, doesn't mean that it's bad. Like, just because you're safe and a situation drag you out of your safe bubble, and then you call that bad, you might call that bad, but for me, I'll call that an opportunity. Because my whole life I've always been trained to go outside the box. Like, even if I wanted to stay in the box, I can't, right? So I'm always pushed outside the box. I'm always pushed to my limits. And that, you might think it's easy for me because I've always done it my whole life, but I'm telling you right now that just because I've done it my whole life doesn't mean that there are times when I don't want to come out of my box. And so it's a skill rather than talent, right? It's not something that I got it naturally, but rather I sort of practice it every single day, right? The things I'm afraid of, I just overcome it. And I'm telling it to you that you can do it too, right? All it takes is a little bit of consistency, a little bit of dedication, probably a pinch of persistence, and sooner or later you might achieve something that I have. And so it's not impossible for you to say that change is good. Although there are some changes that, it's not really the best. Like, some changes that comes from external factors, like the things that you cannot resist. Like, if you're given this sort of option, you can't choose another option, right? And like, let's say that you're hit with a natural disaster, right? It takes everything, all your loved ones and your properties and everything, and so you have to live with that, right? And it's sort of like you're in a dilemma. You can't choose, or you can't go out to have another option. And but that's an exception, because those type of changes are amounted to, you know, dilemmas and stuff like that. But I'm talking about the change that you getting out of your comfort zone, like you having to go to the gym and work out with all that sweat, with all that drained mental capacity, with all that energy, going all out into the gym, and you're feeling tired, you're coming back home soaky wet, right? Your head is dizzy, or working out for too long, right? All those type of changes, they're actually going for a good cause. And you can see that, you can see the good cause through progress. So I'm pulling up the example of working out because it's pretty easy to understand. Like, if you put your energy into something, you'll end up seeing the result through progress. Same goes for studying. If you're putting all the energy, you're staying up late, you're putting all the energy, you're having the capacity to move forward, and not just working hard, but also working smart, right? You have the time, you have the schedule set for everything. All of that are all gonna see inside the evaluation of assignments and tests and all of that. Like, you'll see the result that you put in. And so it's pretty obvious. But all that it asks for you is patience and consistency. That's all it asks. And so all you have to do is just be patient and have a little consistency. You'll get what you want in a matter of no time. It's just a word of sooner or later. And the more you do it, the sooner you get it. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Like, reflecting back again, you can see that for something to sort of end, it comes from something to begin with. And for something to begin, another thing has to end. For you to reach the end of the chapter of the book, you have to start from chapter 1. And the same thing goes for life. For you to be successful, you have to start from being a servant. To be a king, you must first be a pawn, and you have to work your way up. That's it. You have to work your way up. And even if you're given a title or a position that is already high, there's no limit to what you can achieve, right? And so these positions and titles and rankings and all of that, they're just there. But you're more than that. You're more than that. You're more than the certificate you own. You are more than the achievement you achieve. And you are more than what people call you. You're more than that. If people say that you're second rank placement, you are destined for first. And you can even be better than first place. But the only problem is that I don't know what to call if you're better than first place. I mean, you're probably the best of the best, like the champion. And you are destined for that. Everybody is destined for that. And I'm sure that everybody knows how to do it. Everybody knows the how. Everybody do. The only problem right now is that people don't have the will to start. They don't. I can see that. They don't have the will to start. Either it's from an internal factor or an external factor. It's both. It sort of affects the overall decision. And if I can leave you with something today, is that you are more than meets the eye. You are more. You are more than what people tell you. You are more than what that paper tells you. You are more than that. Whatever you have right now, it's a testament to your past. But the you now is a testament to your future. And if you've made it far in this video, thank you. Honestly, thank you. Thank you for staying around and listen to what I have to say. Appreciate it.